Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would sit down and, while I had some free time, the girls are at my mom's, the baby too, they took them for 2 days. So I've been here for 2 days doing laundry and stuff like that, so I had some free time. So I thought I would sit down and talk to you guys a little bit how the labor and delivery and my first C-section went. So basically, I went into labor. I don't remember days. My mind has been like a blur lately. I can barely tell you what happened yesterday, let alone a month or 2-3 weeks ago. Can't. So anyway, I was home when I went into labor. I was washing dishes and my water broke. So, what happened after that? Bear with me, I have to remember. So, my sister was here. And all the kids and everything. I was washing dishes. It was evening. It's like around 7-8 o'clock. And my water broke. So, I went and took a shower. My sister told my mom and everybody, my family members. I went and took a shower, and my other sister that lives about 25 minutes away came, and we went to the hospital. So I had a C-section because baby was breached. I knew that she was breached. She was head down first. I don't remember the weeks. I think it was like 24 weeks or something like that. And she was head down. And then my next appointment, she was head up. She was still head up at 37 weeks. And that's the last they found out. I went back to the doctors and he checked me vaginally and everything, and he said she's head down. And I believe him because this man has been, he's been a doctor for years, I think since like the 80s. So I'm like, okay, he knows what he's doing. He can, check a woman vaginally and see that the baby's head down. So all this time, baby's head down. But I knew that she wasn't. Because her head was up here in my ribs. Her head was here. I knew her head was here. Her feet were down there. Your mom, you've been pregnant, So, yeah, all that time I knew that she wasn't, but he told me that if she did not turn head down, in order for them to turn the baby, you have to get an epidural and everything. So, I didn't want to get 2 epidurals and all that, just to turn the baby, and, that could be dangerous and everything. So we get there, and I'm laboring naturally. No Pitocin or anything, just with water breaking. And my sister's mom is there, and I get to 7 centimeters, no epidural, no medicine or anything. I get to 7 centimeters, it was time for me to push. They checked me, and they thought it was her arm. They thought it was baby's arm coming down first. So it was time for me to push, and she said, let me go and she had to do an ultrasound. She went and got the machine. They came in, that's the dryer. They came in, and it's her feet. Baby is head up. She never turned. So that's how I got pulled into the emergency C-section, because I was about to deliver her. I was about to push, but yeah, they had to rush me in there, and it was the scariest day of my life. I was so upset. I was ready to push. When I had got pregnant, I didn't want an epidural. I knew I was just going to, have her with no epidural, because I had a problem with my last pregnancy with an epidural, so I didn't want one. And ended up getting the C-section and getting the anesthesia and something like the epidural, but it is in your back by your spine. And it was the worst experience of my life. I was crying, I was bawling. I was telling the nurses and my mom and my sisters I was ready to push, and I was really upset. I was so upset. I did not want to get cut. And it's terrible. I don't see how people can have, repeated C-sections, and it's just something that you don't want to get. From my experience, you don't want to. Trust me. It is the worst pain So I had the C-section, and the whole time I'm really scared. I'm just laying there. My mom came with me, and they numbed me, and that freaking thing hurt in my spine. So I was laying there, and they put the sheet over and everything, and the anesthesiologist is there to make sure, because I told her what happened last time with my epidural. My heart rate skyrocketed. Like, they had to take it right out of my back. They don't know what happened. He said he thought he had a vein, but I don't know. Yeah, that's what happened. So I told her that, and she stayed in there. You know, they were checking my pulse and all that, heart rate and everything. So yeah, it was pretty scary. I was just out of it. I guess it was just like, this is not happening. I'm not getting this. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm just laying there, and they make you put your arms like this, and it's like a metal bed or whatever. So I'm laying there, and they make you put your arms out here. So I'm just laying there, just getting cut open, and then I hear this drilling noise, and I'm just like, oh my god, they're just drilling my skin away. It was horrible. I didn't like it at all. So yeah, they took the baby out. I don't even remember seeing the baby. They put her like over here on the right of me. He held her up, and they took her away, and I'm laying there. I guess his stomach just open, and I don't even know because the sheet was up. And I'm out of it. My mom went with the baby, and I'm just hearing, you know, you're in this surgery room, and so, you know, you're just hearing them doing whatever they're doing to you. You know, your life is in their hands, and it was just, I don't know, I hated it. So, what happened after that? So yeah, I'm laying there, and they're closing me up, I guess, and oh, it felt so weird. Oh, the weirdest part, I think, was when they were pulling the baby out. You just feel this tugging, and you don't feel anything because you're numb. Like, my legs went completely numb. They had to lift me up and everything. Like, it was terrible. I could see my feet and everything, and I couldn't wiggle them. I could not feel anything. I was completely numb, and that is the weirdest feeling. And then, yeah, when they're tugging and getting the baby out, oh my god, that feels so weird. So yeah, after that, I'm just laying there all open and getting stitched up. It took, I'd say I was laying there after they took the baby out for about 20-25 minutes. They were, I guess, you know, stitching me and sewing me back up, and ugh, I don't know what they were doing. So yeah, they did all that, and then she had to give me medicine to counteract with the spinal to to wear it off, to wear the spinal off so that I can start feeling again. And that medicine knocked me out. Like, okay, he was done with everything. They lifted me up and put me back on the hospital bed, and they wheeled me into the recovery room. I was in the recovery room. My mom and my sisters came in, and everyone just standing around. My eyes were literally going like this. I was trying to stare. I'm laying there in the recovery room, and I was trying to stare at something, but my eyes were going like this, and I thought it was just, I'm literally going like this all over the place. My eyes were not steady. The medicine she gave me to wear off the spinal was like, whoa, it was some strong stuff. So yeah, they came and said bye to me, and my nurse was there watching me in the recovery room, and I ended up going to sleep. I knocked out, and then when I woke up, I wasn't as drowsy. They took me back in the room, and I started being able to feel again. They kept checking, to make sure, and I was like, yeah, I can feel that. Then I was able to wiggle my toes again, and that was it. I can just say that, it was horrible. So I'm in my room, and they bring me the baby and everything. I was breastfeeding her in the hospital, and this is the next day, that night, you know, I just slept and everything. They took the baby for a while, and then they brought her back, and you know, that night was fine. I had medicine. I could control my medicine. They gave me the thing to push whenever I needed more medicine, so that was fine. I had a catheter. That night. They took it out the next day. So on to the next day, next morning. My mom left. My mom lives in Orlando, as you guys know. So my sister that took me to the hospital, she came back, and my other sister was here because she had the kids and she doesn't have a car. Where was my car? Oh, my car was here, but she had all the kids, and they won't let all the kids in the hospital room. So my kids didn't even see me in the hospital. They waited until I come home. So yeah, the next day I was in a lot of pain. I was just, you know, pushing that thing, getting pain medicine. They took my catheter out, and then it was time for me, you know, to get up and, you know, use the bathroom. You know, all that afterbirth stuff, how they make you get up and all of that. When I say, now this is my first C-section. I had 3 kids vaginally. When I say that was the worst pain, worse than a contraction, It took me about 10 minutes, just 10-15 minutes just to get to the bathroom. And the bed was so high, like it was my nurse and I guess the CNA or whatever, but they were helping me, and there's like no railings or anything for me to hold on to pull myself up. Mind you guys, I am cut, and just like, it was so painful. Tears were just streaming down my face. My sister was over there holding the baby, and she was like, you know, take your time or whatever. Tears were just streaming down because I was in so much pain. I mean, so much pain. It's undescribable. You know, I can't describe the pain. So I managed to scoot to the edge of the bed. One woman here, the other woman here. I managed to scoot to the end of the bed, and she's holding my hand on this side. And I stood up. Oh my God. I was able to stand up. And walking, you know, I kind of like waddled or whatever from side to side. Went to the bathroom. Using the bathroom to me was the hardest. Using the bathroom was really, really hard. And then it was like, when I had to go pee, it wouldn't come out. I had to sit there and, like, you know, wait. And it hurted so bad. So after that first time, you know, I was up, then walked back to the bed or whatever. I cleaned up. They made me clean up and everything and all of that. But anyway, it's not a good situation. It wasn't good for me. I hated it. I do not want another C-section. I will not suggest. If it is not medically necessary for you to have a C-section, I wouldn't get it. They were telling me that, like, I really wanted to deliver the baby breached and everything, and they're like, it's dangerous, you know, but their bones can break and everything. They're not meant to come that way. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. But, you know, it's my baby. She's here. I love her to death. But it is a really, really painful experience. It's a really, really painful, and I don't want another one. I don't want another one. It hurt it really bad. So after that, you know, my stay in the hospital, I came home. It still hurt it really bad for me to use the bathroom and everything. It was really painful. I was on the medication and everything, and the medicine really wasn't hurting. And then I went through this part where it would like burn, the incision would burn a little bit. I could barely lift, and it was painful. My first shower, I was afraid to get in the shower. My first shower in the hospital, I turned towards my back, and then when I would turn to the front, I would like bend over some, you know, like push my belly out so that it's not getting wet with the water. I don't know. It was really weird, but yeah, I felt really sensitive. It was really, 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 really sensitive. So, yeah, that's pretty much my story and my experience in coming home. I couldn't walk up the stairs. my sister had to come over because my girls were still in school. My sister had to come over and walk up the stairs and wake my kids up for school. She had to brush their hair. I couldn't even lift my arms because of my chest here. I'm on this thing here. I don't use it as much as I should. I should be using this, but this is to, like, you know, restore your lungs, oxygen, open your lungs up and everything. But I didn't use it as much as I should. I should still be using this because I still get out of breath. I'm still sensitive in my chest area. Yeah, I can lift my arms now, but right now it's been how many weeks? I think this is week 6. It's been 6 weeks. But I started feeling okay 2 weeks. It took about 2 weeks for me to feel okay and not be in like excruciating pain. I was off of my pain medicine. I still have some pills left, but it took about 2 weeks and the pain started subsiding, you know, it went away and everything. I was walking. They made me walk in the hospital with the baby too, so, you know, I guess that helped to, like, you know, you have to strengthen those muscles back up and strengthen everything back up. So yeah, that's my story of my first C-section, and I just want to say, I hope you don't ever have to get one, because you don't want one. You don't want one. I don't want another one. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my story, and I'm going to be going to go get the kids in a little bit. It's 2 o'clock, so I'm going to go get them in a little bit. I miss my baby so much. So I'm going to take you guys along. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you